Everyone, and welcome to Thelma's podcast. I hope you're all doing well. One more life to go, and I'm so excited. I have this fantastic person. So, Aysha Scott, she's a writer, a producer. She is also an actress, I believe. She has founded her own production company and is also making those amazing planners, filmmaking planners. So I am going to. Okay, does it work? Oh, hi Aisha, how
Hi,
are you?
are you right? How are you?
Yeah, you look so pretty, so beautiful.
Oh,
Nice,
thank
nice to
you.
meet you.
Thank
So let me get it straight. So you are an actress, you are a writer, a producer, a director.
So I used to do acting, but unfortunately I haven't done acting in a very long time. But I do teach acting to young people. So I write, produce and direct, and I'm now mainly focusing on writing and directing. And yeah, I run a couple businesses.
Wow. So let's start with how did you get into the filmmaking business? How did you get into that?
So I've always been into production for a very long time because a lot of people don't know, but I used to run an entertainment company. And when I ran the company, which was called Artist Quick Limited back in the day, it was mainly specializing in music entertainment. But we used to do a lot of on the road filming. So we'd be filming a lot of the artists and we was making like short films, but we didn't set out intentionally to be like making short films and stuff like that. We was just heavily involved in a lot of production stuff. And then I went in to do the acting for a while and I just kind of thought like the roles were a bit stagnant.
Yeah.
And I'm talking years ago. So I'm talking like over 20 years ago. So as we know, the industry is evolving, but back then it was pretty much nothing. So you really did get typecast into those sort of single mum roles or the cleaner in the
I
air.
know.
The type of roles that I did, like I even worked on EastEnders doing
Oh,
aid. Yes, I used to do like loads of little bits and bobs, but then I just realized that I more wanted to go into sort of writing and sort of producing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I sort of fell into it. But I've always been in the arts. So I've always been doing, I used to do spoken word. So I've done so many things over like the span of my career, but yeah,
so as
still.
you said, you've done it a long time ago. So it was hard then. How did you manage to get through that phase to be where you are now?
I just, for me, it's like I don't see any other option. I'm just a creator. I love to create. Like I've always just done jobs around the creative field, and yeah, it is difficult, but you just have to focus on like your accomplishments, and it does take a long time, I believe, to really sort of get that big break and stuff, and then over the time, people will go back and see the span of your work and they will sort of connect all the dots together and realize like the journey that you've gone on. So it's just about creating. You just have to keep going and going and going and just, yeah, it's just how
Yeah.
it is.
It's not luck, it's because I spoke to Tash. I don't know, Tasha, I think. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, that in,
Yes.
yeah,
Just like you, that's exactly what she said. She said, you know what? It was a hobby, but then she just loved to create so that she doesn't get the no's. She said, you know what, I've got this idea. And if I don't do it, then somebody else gonna do it. So that's it. So I think that's what exactly for you has been the same. So you're a creator because you have this. I've read. I mean, I'm even still looking at your biography. I'm so impressed. I'm like, oh my goodness. But what's your favorite part? Do you prefer directing, producing, writing? Which one do you prefer the most?
to be fair, I haven't done as much directing as I want to do, but I love writing. I feel
Yeah.
like that is like the root of my passion in the sort of creative field because I am a storyteller by nature. But yeah, I do like producing as well because I am very organized.
Yeah, yeah, I can tell.
I'm a very organized person and I love to plan. So I do enjoy the producing side of making films and stuff like that. But I just realized that being realistic, if I really want to push my directing sort of talents, I need to focus on just those two instead of trying to do everything. Because up until this point, I have done everything. I've won so much.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, out of all the work you've produced, which one are you the most proud of? I mean, I know it's a hard question to ask, but which one is the one you're most proud of out of all the work you've done?
So, out of all the work that I've done, the most proud of would be Dismissed. It's an anti-bullying short film that's on YouTube, and
Oh,
it's hit over 1.1 million views. I got it onto like 8 different streaming platforms. It got picked up for distribution and went into like 12 festivals, won awards. And the reason why I'm proud of that body of work is because I wore so many hats. So I wrote, I produced, I directed, and I edited the
yeah,
production. So it's just something that I just always hold close to my heart because I invested a lot of money into it. I put all the team together. I also done the sort of exec producing, which was sort of like the financial business side of it. And I'm just proud of that piece of work because it just shows that it can be done.
yeah. So this miss, is it personal experience of things that you've witnessed? How did you come up with that story?
So I came up with Dismiss. I'm really sort of I'm just always passionate about certain social impact topics, and it was around a time where a lot of young people were coming to light about being bullied in school, and I was just looking at the different angles and the different perspectives of how people looked at young bully victims, of young like individuals who've been bullied, and I always realised that it's sort of like a typecast. It's a specific person that's put out that they're that type of person that is likely to be bullied. But then
Mm.
I realised it was like a lot of models, like the kind of young girls I was talking to, they was like models, but they were like getting bullied because of their career and stuff like that. They was being homeschooled. So I was just drawn to the subject matter from there. And then when I got talking with the cinematographer who came on board, he had had his own experiences, and we just looked at it and thought, all right, this is a topic that we really need to sort of tackle. Because my thing is, when I make films, I like to try and tell things from a completely new perspective. So I went online and I watched hundreds of anti-bullying short films, and I realized it was always kind of like going from the same sort of story. So
Mm.
my story, I try to tell it from sort of the teacher's perspective of how bullying is looked at in the classroom.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, what I like about this mist, um, I'm not proud of this moment, but there was a time in my life I used to be bullied a lot,
Oh
and then
no!
yeah, but instead of getting help, what did I do? I became a bully.
Uh,
Because you know when you ask teachers for help, and I used to be a troublemaker, so that didn't help me at all.
yeah,
So then I thought, you know what, nobody's helping me, I'm gonna help
yeah,
myself. And it wasn't the right way, it wasn't. But I really liked, I watched a bit of this maze that I'm gonna say I didn't find myself. I'm a teacher now, so I'm like,
oh
it's true from a teacher perspective. Sometimes it's hard when you have all these people coming to you, and you have to let people know there's two sides of a story. You can look like a stereotype, oh, you're the type of bully, but then you don't know the full story. So it's a very good thing that, I mean, I hope I can show it to my
yeah,
students.
no,
Is it, well,
no.
it's okay.
It got shown in loads of schools, like
Oh,
schools in
thank
America,
you. I'm gonna
like
write this down. I'm gonna definitely gonna make, because in my class we have a lot of bullying issues and I don't like it. So I
yeah,
think maybe something that we can go back to school and say, look guys, I spoke to this lovely person who made this short film.
yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna hopefully do something. So I wanted to ask you, you have set up your own production company. When was that?
In 2015.
Wow, how does that feel to have your own production company?
Well, it's great. It's not like spinning over a million yet, but
Yeah. Not yet.
it was when I left uni. I kind of like went out there, to try and get into like a production company to get work experience and stuff. And it was just like a lot of rejection, a lot of like, no, you're just either underqualified or you're too qualified. Or this was also around the time where it wasn't really much opportunities for especially black female filmmakers. And I just thought, I'm just going to do it myself. So I made my first feature in
Well done.
2014. And then after that, I thought, yeah, this is something that I really want to do. So I set up my production company, AScottProductions. And yeah, it's just been going from there. But we don't just obviously make films. I have the academy attached to it where we train young people in acting for camera and script writing and stuff like that as well. So
That's amazing. How can I advertise this that you do the academy? Because I really liked about that. So how does that work? Explain to me a bit more. How does that work?
so the academy, I've been running the academy from 2018, and I put together bespoke workshops and I bring them into schools, and I also have a private session that I run on a weekly basis. I wasn't doing it, I stopped it last summer, but I've just started doing Sunday workshops for young people from 12 to 17. But I can give you all like the information for those workshops as well. But a lot of it's really based on sort of giving young people a voice, building their confidence, and just giving them that sort of support and giving them the tools to have that voice for who they are as young people, because I feel like young people are dismissed the most. They don't get the
True.
opportunities to speak up. They're just, especially the age of like 12 to 17. I think that age is kind of like just brushed to the side. It's like, all right, you're nearly a teenager now, and they're just sort of like the forgotten bunch. So I just try to do as much work as I can with the young people.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I wanted to ask you, so you are as a creator, where do you get your inspiration from? Where do you get these amazing, wonderful ideas for what you create?
So I come from a really, what can I say? I,
Go on.
I come from a really rough upbringing. In like, I grew up in Deptford. Back then, it was labelled as the ghetto, so I was in a gang and all of that. So I've lived a very colourful life. So I have a very high understanding of just broken communities, and I see things from different perspectives. So people might see young people out there doing certain things, but I've lived in that environment, so I understand from many different perspectives. And I just think, you know what, I want to be a role model. I want like people coming from those backgrounds to see that you don't have to settle for that life. You can come out of it. And yeah, it's just really my works. All my work is based around change, so I always try to put that element of change into anything that I do. So that's where mainly I get the inspiration from my work.
That's amazing to know. So any particular director, producer, writer or screenwriter that
It's frozen.
Hi, can you
Oh
hear me now?
yeah.
Oh God.
It froze. So I really love Ava DuVernay.
Me too.
Yeah,
No, oh my God.
I love her work. That's the type of work that I want to be making, because I feel like she's got a strong voice. She's always advocating for some sort of change, the type of stories that she tells and everything like that. So she's really my big inspiration in terms of actors and stuff. I love Morgan Freeman, Denzel.
We have the same
Phil
thing.
Roberts. I've got so many. I just love, like, I've got so many actors, but a lot of the old school actors, I feel, for me are sort of like, yeah. But
Yeah.
you've got a load of sort of up and coming actors and stuff as well.
That's amazing. And I need to speak about your current project about filmmaking planners. I was on LinkedIn
Yeah.
and that's how I met you. I'm like, this is so cool. I wish I had that back, in my time, like a planner for filmmakers. Can you explain how did this idea started? Where does it come from?
So the idea for the filmmaking planner came about last year. So last year I embarked on a healing journey. I was just had enough of sort of after COVID, you know, it was very much sort of like down in the dumps. It was like, what are you doing with your career? The film industry kind of came to a standstill.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? So I went on this big healing journey.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Oh,
can. Sorry, what's going on?
you keep you keep checking out. Yeah, so I went on this healing journey and I was doing a lot of like journaling and a lot of planning and plotting, working out what type of films. So I wrote a lot last year. So I wrote like 3 features and plotted out like some TV series and stuff like that. And I was just doing everything on pieces of paper, but then I had so many journals. I'm literally a super fan of journals and planners. So even here you see like it's like low.
Wow.
And I
Be organized.
planning and I just thought, okay, something like this, we need something like this for the film industry, because I'm not a person to always be running to like on my computer, because I find that computer has so many distractions. And I just started putting out the idea on a piece of like A4 papers folded up together. And I thought, yeah, this is what I need, because all my films have come from sticky notes, different scraps of paper. Like even the last feature that I wrote, I've been putting it out for years, but it's like notes in my phone and just all bits of bobs of ideas that I come up over time. I had everywhere, and I thought, right, I need it in a book, so obviously I can keep it from memories. And then the journal aspect came from obviously when I was doing all the journaling, and I thought it'd be nice to look back and reflect on your journey as a filmmaker, like what went wrong, what went right, and just be able to always have that there to fall back on. So that's
You have,
where
you
it
have
came from.
That's amazing. You have one we can see. Have you got one at hand right now that can see what it looks like, or you
Yeah,
don't have one?
no, I've got
Oh,
loads.
okay. If what you saying is so cool that we actually see.
this,
Yes.
uh, this one's a bit bad because I've been like writing in
Don't
the.
worry.
I've written in so many of these now, because as I
Wow.
said, I was plotting out films and stuff, but I've just been like filling them in. So I can just have them as like memorabilia as well, of just like how I put my films together. And I can always go back to them if I need to. And then when I do meetings and stuff now, I bring them along. And it's just easier. Like I had a meeting for a new project that I'm doing with a producer that I'm working with, and she's like, send me your notes. And it was just like, so it was all, because it's all sectioned out in terms of the structure of the production planning. It was easy to say. She was like, send me your comparable films, and I could just like take a picture, send her that page, and it felt good. I thought like, yeah, this actually is really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
It's amazing.
yeah,
I'm so happy that you came up with this idea, because when I was in the film industry, I mean, it's not over for me, but I had to take a
yeah,
little break. But I remember I had notes everywhere, and I even lost myself with notes, sometimes very important notes. And then I'm like, no. And then I saw that. I'm thinking, where were you when I needed that?
yeah. Well,
But you're here
you
now.
need to get one. You need to get one and just start forming and start putting your idea down, because
Yeah.
people don't realize filmmaking can take a long time, and it's a lot of prep and planning before you even get to like speaking to a producer. So the filmmaking planner really does help with
Yeah.
getting the structure of your film out and just being able to execute it and be able to deliver your idea to people. So
Yeah.
yeah. And
That's
we've got digital as well. So for those who don't like to write with pen and paper, we haven't released it properly yet, but we do have our digital version available as well online. So have that.
also, I wanted to surprise you today. So I have a very close friend of mine
Yeah.
called Janine Thompson. She says she's been to school with you.
Who?
Janine Thompson. Do you
Oh,
know, do you know each other?
I know Janine. Where is she?
She's right here. She said, hi, Ash.
Oh, hi. Is that Janine there? I
Yes. So we spoke about you. I'm like, what a small world. I
Oh
thought
my
I
God.
wanted to tell you on the message. I said, no, 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 let me
Yeah,
surprise her.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we spoke about you. I'm like, this is amazing. And she said so many wonderful things about you. I mean, that's so nice to hear. Like the type of person you are today. I mean, and for your planners, where can we get some? How can we get our hands on them?
If you go to my web, hi Janine first. Thank you for all your nice things you've said about me. To get out your hands on a copy of the filmmaking planner, you go to filmmakingplanner.com,
Oh,
and it's not just a website for you to go and purchase the book. We have a load of blogs on there. There's loads of sort of information. We've just started up, so we will be building on the journey. You can follow us on TikTok as well, which is Filmmaking Planner, where we have a lot of sort of fun, sort of more relaxed content, so you can get to know us as a company. And yeah, just follow the journey. We are starting out, we are new, but watch this space.
yes, I mean, that's amazing what you do because I feel like you've done so many things. What is the next target for you? What do you want to achieve? Is there one thing that you would like to achieve?
So my next target is to get my new feature film out there. So this is a big one. I can't say too much because it's obviously a new project and stuff, but really I just want this project to bang, like this to be like a sort of mainstream project to come out. Is something different. I don't think it's been done obviously, but it's not been done from a female perspective, and it's another deep one, and it's another one that can spark those conversations and bring about change as well. So that's my next plan really, but I'm, as I said, always creating. I'm always plotting and planning something.
Yeah, don't stop. Don't stop. I can't wait to see that feature film. So my last question for you, and thank you so much for your time, by the
Yeah,
way, because I know you always got things to do, you're always creating. So for you to be here with me, that means a lot. So my last question for you, what would you advise young people that want to follow in your footsteps? Entrepreneur, filmmaker, creator, writer, what would be your main advice?
my main advice would be, and I know it sounds cliche, but you just have to get it done. You just have to try and do it. Like if you got a concept for a film and you might not have the finances or the resources, shoot it on your phone. You have to start somewhere. You just have to keep doing when it comes to the creative field, because it is a difficult field to get into, but it's not impossible. So my advice would be to just try. Get
Yeah,
your filmmaking planner, put out
yeah,
your film.
yeah, yes, of course.
Literally, it will come into fruition, because I believe that's how it all unfolds. It's like once you set the ball rolling, eventually it will manifest.
Yes, thank you so much again for your time, for everything that you do. I wish you nothing but the success. And I think like what I like about you, you have
Yeah,
achieved a lot, but you're not stopping. Like you don't have enough. You want to do more. So thank you for that. It really
I'm
means a lot
a
to us.
legacy. Aysha Scott. I want to be. I got to leave my footprints on the earth. So no,
Yes, you have, I think.
but no, thank you for reaching out, and thank you for having me as well. Like I look through a lot of your podcasts and stuff. So well done to
Oh,
you.
thank you
I
so
see
much.
you meeting a lot of people. No, it's really good. So
Yeah, so it's people like you that make time for me, that also the message is for young people, for them
yeah,
to think about what they want to do and they like it. They always tell me, Miss Diaz, we want more, we want more. And I'm like, don't worry, see
in
what
it,
I can do. So I'm going to show them the short film that you did because I think as a school, every school, we need to watch this. We need to
yeah,
bully, not acceptable, it's enough. So thank you for doing that, for
yeah,
reaching out, giving a voice.
yeah,
So I can't wait to see everything else, and I will be ordering a filmmaker planner, even for my podcast. I'll order one. So
yeah.
thank you so much.
Order it, because if you said you used to do filmmaking, but you're taking a break. But that's what the filmmaker will help you do, to get out of that break and start plotting and planning. So then, when you are ready to get back, you just sit down with your producer and you've got all your idea fleshed out. It's not as if you're like, oh, I don't remember. Let me look in my phone. Let me get my
No,
notes. You've got your planner. You just drop it down. You'll be like, this is my mood board. This is. this is the team, this is the films that I want to, the similar films that I want it to be like. You even got your budget, everything. It covers everything. Like as I said before, I made Dismissed by myself pretty much as a writer, producer, director, exec produced on it. So it can be done, and it's online. It's got 1 million views, and it made waves. So you have to plan.
I have to, and as my friend Jenny, our friend Jenny says, I hope it's okay that sometimes I might come to you for some advice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I can't wait to. I look forward to one day meet you in person,
Yeah.
and I wish you to have a lovely evening. Because I'm sure you got a lot of things to do. So have a lovely evening, and we're gonna catch up.
You too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bye
Bye, Janine.
bye, Janine. Thank you, Janine.
Bye.
Bye bye.